Future with Santiago and Jesus Chan-Cortes, episode 8.
We're finally on episode 8, and we have two very important guests on this episode. Two more guests on this episode. We have
a genius.
Gray and Doug from Mowr Technologies with us today.
Now, you guys who are listening right now, you guys want to tune in for this one because this is an inspirational story. You know, the fact that these guys are young guys with a dream, they just had this thought, this idea. And really, that's all they had at the moment. They didn't have the finance. They didn't have the connection. They have nothing. You know, just a thought, a dream, an idea, and they went from there, man. And so it's a really inspirational story. So you guys definitely want to tune into this one. You guys definitely want to listen to this one and definitely support these guys. But besides that, man, what's up with you? What's going on?
Nothing much, man. Just picking up from the week. Very busy week this week.
Yeah, why so busy?
Short staff.
All right, well, you guys are at short staff.
Yeah, but we're good. We're good. We got all the staff we need.
And I don't know when this episode is going to be released, but we got Valentine's Day coming up next week. You got any plans with your girl for next week?
Not yet, but I'm working on that. So.
Yeah. Don't let her know that. Don't let her know that.
In mind, so. Yeah.
So my wife right now is in Puerto Rico. She would actually be coming back. I believe it's Valentine's Day. She'll be coming back. Let me think here. No, the day after Valentine's Day. So I got away with it this time. I don't think she realized what she was doing. She didn't realize it. So, well, she did ask me to go. So she's going for this church thing, and she wanted me to go. But I'm not a big weekend trip kind of guy. You know, I like to be able to relax and chill out for a little while. And those weekend trips, I don't know, they just feel rushed to me. They feel like, let's go.
How's
I can't do that.
Right now?
Puerto Rico's good. This time of the year, you're looking at 80 degrees. It's nice. Puerto Rico's always beautiful. So, you know, she's liking it right now. She got there yesterday, and so she's just
living
it up. She rented a Jeep, and so she was like, I'm hitting the roads, and I'm going to have an adventure. So
I want to be in Puerto Rico.
Yeah, so that's her Valentine's Day. My Valentine's Day will be at home, probably playing God of War or something like that. With the dog. So perfect Valentine's Day. When she comes back, I'll definitely make it up to her though. But let's get into the episode, man. Let's get into the episode, and we like to bring in the guys, our guest. All right.
All right. So let's get right into it. We have two more guests on this podcast.
We're doing something different this time though, because we're doing all this through online. We got our guests joining us today via Microsoft Teams. A little plug in there for Microsoft if you want to pay us. But so it's our first time trying something like this. One of our guests is actually coming out of Texas. The other one's coming out of Lansing. So that's very exciting. So go ahead, Jesus, introduce them to us.
Yeah, so we have Taylor and Doug Salazar here with us today from Mowr Technologies. How are you guys doing today?
Not too bad. How you guys doing?
We're doing fantastic. Now, that's Mowr spelled M as in Mary, O-W-R, right?
Correct. Yep. Drop the E.
Mowr Technologies. Oh, well, welcome to Forging the Future. We appreciate your time, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, appreciate you guys having us.
For sure. So we do have some questions here for you guys. If you didn't know, the way our podcast works, we're basically trying to get to know how entrepreneurs get into starting up a business. And so we heard about your story. We found it very interesting. So that's why you guys got an invite. We want to hear a little bit more about how you guys got this business started. And just let us know your story, man. So from what I understand, you guys are friends. All right. You come together before the business even starts, is that right?
Yeah, we've known each other since, sixth grade, I think. So, yeah, we've been friends, business partners over the course of however many years.
All right. I think we lost Doug there for a second there.
Yeah, it's breaking up.
Just there, Doug?
Yep. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. So Gray and I have been friends for, since sixth grade. We've had multiple businesses together. Starting when we were 17, 18, we had a clothing apparel company. We did Fly Fresh Fashions. We sold clothes and shoes, purses, all types of things. And then, it led into Mowr, and, we've been grinding it out ever since.
You guys met the 6th grade. So what? You guys
Yeah.
are about what? 12, 13 years old then?
Mhm.
All right.
Yeah, we were the shortest two on the basketball team, so we,
we just kind of clicked.
Is that how you guys became friends?
yeah,
Became
we
friends
looked
there?
out for each other. We were the same height.
Where'd you guys go to school?
In Lansing, Otto, and then Eastern High School,
Okay.
and then Otto Middle School. Yeah, so we met in middle school, and we just been riding it out.
So my question to you guys is, how did you go from selling or wanting to sell clothes to now developing a app like Mowr?
I think for me, it was just having that entrepreneur mindset. We both think alike, but at the same time, we both bring different aspects to any business that we jump in. So, like like you said, we did many businesses. So, like, if he says something, he'll bring a fresh idea, or um, he's someone, he's in a corporate position right now. So he brings that over. Like, we just, for like a business partner, like, I think we like are like a match made in heaven. Because we know how to, like, if I'm lacking on something, he'll definitely pick up and, take that load, and vice versa. And a lot of people, they could, dismantle or break up if there's any, like, somebody slowing down or whatever. So we motivate each other all the time. And, I think that's what I look for me. I look for that in him, and hopefully he looks for that in me as well.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, we've always, and we've been hustlers ever since we was young. Like, I remember back when I was in, middle school, I was selling candy out my backpack to make money. I'd buy candy and sell it out my backpack. And it's just, we've been grinding ever since. When we had our clothing company, we were selling clothes. I opened a produce store. I had to run it for about 6 years. We closed down during COVID, but I opened up that produce store from the ground up in my community. Because I saw that need, there. And then, for Gray, he opened up a dance studio in his community, right? And for some of the kids that didn't have, after school activities and things like that. So we've been always in that entrepreneurial, like Gray said, mindset and just hustling. We're trying to make some extra money, and right now trying to turn Mowr into a multi-billion-dollar business.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit more about what Mowr Technologies is all about.
So we have on our platform, we have 2 different apps. So we have the Mowr app, which is, we always say it's Uber for lawn care, right? So, people, they create their profiles, they put their yard out there, and they can get their yard serviced, whether it's mowing, leave, pickup and removal, and then snow, sidewalk and driveway, and then get their the snow removed. And then we also have Mowr Rentr. I guess going back to Mowr, and then also on the flip side of that, on the partner side, we have Mowr partners, right? So we have individuals that sign up and they can pick up those jobs, that's within a certain mile radius from them. So kind of similar to the Uber model, right? You have your customer side, and then you have your partner side. And then we have Mowr Rentr, which is a new app we just released a couple weeks ago. That's on our platform. It's a renting app where everyday people can go in there and put in, items they want to rent out, whether it's an air compressor, whether it's, a lawnmower, it could be a carpet cleaner, a bounce house, just anything that you can think of that someone would want to rent out, you can put it on the platform and rent it out. And then, vice versa, you have, people that are able to rent those items out around your community. So just trying to, build that platform for, people to make extra cash, right? Gray and I both did gig work. When I had my produce business, I was also Ubering, trying to keep my business afloat, and doing DoorDash and whatnot. And so we're big on trying to provide ways for people to earn extra cash, right? Build their own business, whether it's a renting business, whether it's a landscaping business and picking up jobs to the app. Just trying to build that extra stream of revenue for other individuals like we did.
All right, now for somebody who's going to be downloading your application, where exactly are these services provided? Is this a national thing or?
Yeah, yep,
Oh wow,
yep,
that's
yeah.
impressive,
So
man.
it's in the App Store. Yeah, so anyone can download it anywhere. Yeah,
Yeah.
we've
All right.
even for Mowr, we've done jobs, and I think we were just talking about it the other day. I think there's about 15 different states we've done, whether it's mowing, leaves, or snow removal jobs around the country. And then for Mowr Rentr, like I said, we just released it a couple weeks ago, but it's available all throughout the country.
Okay. And that's going to be Mowr spelled Mowr and then Rentr Rentr.
Correct. Yeah, yeah. Drop the E.
Yeah, for all of those listeners out there who are interested in downloading the application, I want to make sure they find it. So,
Yeah, it's in Android and iOS stores.
okay.
Can you guys talk a little bit about having the idea and then eventually leading up to developing the app? Because I know it's not an easy process.
Not at all. No. I let Greg take this one.
For us, yeah, it was very interesting how it came about and how we were ended up this far. So years and years ago, I'm not going to talk about how long ago, but years and years ago, um, we came up with the idea. It was my mom outside. She was lawn mowing. She stayed with me at the time. So she was outside lawn mowing. And like Doug said, we did gig work. So I was looking outside and I was like, it would be dope if you could order somebody to come mow your lawn like you could like a ride. So and like it started resonating in my head, like it just kept on repeating itself, and I'm like, oh my God, this might be a good idea. So I talked to my girlfriend about it, and she said it's a good idea, but she always says everything I say is a good idea, so you don't know if it's like if it holds any weight really. So then I asked my mom, and of course she's gonna say yes. Anything, that's how moms are. So I was like, let me call Doug, because like anytime I get an idea, I run it off Doug. So I told Doug, and Doug was like, man, that's a good idea. So I'm like, all right, three people say yeah, but it still might be a little biased. But I was like, all right, Doug, how would you like to be my business partner? And then like I know he wasn't expecting that like it to become a business. He thought maybe I was just like talking about something good. So he was like, yeah. And then like later that day, we're texting back and forth about like the whole idea. And then we're like, we need a name though. So we're going back and forth. I think the third name we chose was Mowr. So then like we're like, how do we get it going from there? So that's where we're stumped at, because we don't know any app developers, or like we didn't even know what to call a person who built the app. So we're just like, we don't even know where to begin. We have this great idea, but we don't have no idea. So at the time, my favorite places to drive was Uber or Michigan State, doing Uber. And I'll go out there party nights. It's fun. It's a good environment. Like I, at the time I was like maybe like 20 something, and like I felt like I was a little bit too old for the party scene, but it still gives you that little vibe, when you drive and turn the music up, everybody jamming in the car. So I would talk to people. I was like, hey, what do you think about this idea? What do you think about this idea? A lot of people were saying it was nice, and I'm like, the person that builds the app, what are they called? So I started like, because the college campus, they have so many different people that can basically a lot of resources there. So they're like, what you need is an app developer. That's what you need. So I ended up driving a cybersecurity guy one day, and he was like, well, I have a friend. He designs but not builds. So I was like, okay. I was like, can you set us up a meeting with all you guys? So we met. Is Big B in Grand Rapids at all?
Yeah.
Okay. So we met at Big B in East Lansing. We started talking, and he was like, he ended up building or designing the app. And the dope thing was, I told Doug, everything happens for a reason. As soon as we started talking, the designer immediately started sketching. Like I don't think we asked his name yet, but he started sketching out like the design of it. Had a font and everything. I'm like, oh my gosh. I was like, man, I love this energy. I'm big on energy. I'm like, and Doug was like, yeah, that's code. So we ended up like getting that design, but he's like, I can't do anything after this. So he built us the design, but he's like, you're gonna need somebody to develop it. I'm just a designer. I can't bring it to life. And then we were stumped again. Because we like we pretty much like I drove out there religiously, so I talked to every computer science I can possibly find. So my girlfriend was like, hey, a coworker of mine builds apps. So I was like, oh man, put me in touch with them so we can have a meeting. So me, Doug, and him. I don't. Did we drive up to Grand Rapids? Is that what we did when we first met him? Or no, they came down here.
Yeah,
and met us at the shop.
Yeah, he met us at the produce store.
Yeah, they met us at Doug's store. Yeah. So we had a meeting. It was four of us, and like we're going through it, and they're getting excited. We're getting excited, and then they tell us how much it cost, and our jaws drop, and we're like, we weren't ready for that. But luckily for us, like they loved the idea so much, they were willing to work with us at that time because, we didn't think it cost that much. But like it's either like you want an app developed or you want to buy a car, So we had to choose what we wanted. So we ended up sticking with one of the guys. He stuck with it with us. So that started that app being created. So we had Mowr going for a while. We pushed it out initially when we launched it because a lot of people, especially with your platform, would like to hear. When we first launched it, we thought it was going to go bananas. We thought like, man, this is it. It's going to go crazy. It's going to shut down the world because this is the best idea ever. So what you guys need to know also is it can be a great idea, but it's a time and place for everything. And I felt like maybe we were a tad early when we launched, but it didn't we thought it was going to get 1,000 shares. It's going to blow up, all this other stuff. I think it only got 100 shares. And I know it has to do with Facebook has algorithms and stuff as well, but it was just a difference in it getting out there and then people having to understand. You have to educate people on new things. It's not something that's already out there. I don't know, if it was a store or something or, it's something brand new. It's a new concept of somebody actually doing your yard for you. So we had to realize that a lot of people had to get educated and we had to, attack the marketing on educating people on what this product is, what this service is, and how it benefits and who it benefits on both sides of the app. You have your lawn care providers who are constantly looking for work, but they're not, they don't have any leads. Well, that's where we come in play. So we have to show them that this is what our app does for them. Then on the flip side, you have your customer. Okay, customers. There's different type of customers. You might have, somebody who's constantly working 2 jobs, doesn't have time to do their lawn. All right, so we have to learn how to market it to them. Or you might have, a whole bunch of other scenarios. But we had to figure out how to market. So like I said, when we initially launched, we were shocked that it didn't catapult and just become this big thing. It took a while. It took a while to get traction because we had to find our customers. We had to find who they are, where they're at, and how much it costs to reach them. And that's some of the things we're still looking at to this day because the customers are changing rapidly. So I'm here now and I'm trying to figure out who are these customers here, in Dallas. So when you guys who are watching this, when you guys launch something, just don't be shocked. Just keep pushing because you just have to find your customer. So that was Mowr. That was just a Mowr. So with Mowr Rentr, me and Doug, I think it was an investor that reached out to us, and he was some of the things I would be interested in looking at or that would interest me if you guys added some of these features. What about what if somebody, and he said, what if somebody could rent equipment to so they can mow lawns because they might not have equipment. So that's how the Mowr Rentr idea came about. And it's us listening to what he was saying because we could just no, that was stupid. But actually that was a great idea, but we kind of twisted and opened it up for all the equipment. It's just not power tools. It's not lawn, So we opened that idea up and we were like, man, this is a great idea as well, So we ran that and finally got that live a couple of weeks ago. But over the course of us starting, it's probably been 4 or 5 years of where we were in Lansing. Now, like Doug said, we're in 15 states and we're still pushing. I moved all the way out here to Dallas to push it as well. So it takes a lot of hard work, dedication, and a lot of sacrifice.
So a lot of your customers were based out in Dallas. That's the reason why you moved out there. What have you learned since moving out there?
It's a whole different game out here. It's very competitive, but that's what I learned. So you have land. I mean, it could be so beneficial, but you have to like we're still figuring out how to make it worth it on the partner side as well. Because it's very competitive out here. You have people that will mow lawns for $15 and do an amazing job, you know. So it's something we have to fine tune on our end. But there's over 270 people moving to Dallas every single day. I mean, there's people moving out too. I don't have that number, but over 270 people moving here a day, and that's between Dallas, Arlington, and Fort Worth. So you know, our goal is trying to one like, can we get that 200? Can we get a piece of that 270 a day? On top of you got people moving, not just in Dallas, but move like people don't really stay in their residence. Like there's a lot of business, a lot of Fortune 500 companies here, so it's a lot of business professionals. So we got to learn how to attack, like find them and get them on board. But it's like we have to figure out a new way of marketing, honestly, to get to these individuals because they're scattered, but like. It's like for me, like I did a little gig work out here. So I'm slapping flyers on stuff, like when I'm delivering stuff, putting it in their bag, taping it to them. You know, I'm trying to get like, because you have to reach, I mean, you got social media, but, you know, you have to like figure out other channels to talk to people and get them on board.
I'm a little more interested in you guys mentioning, you know, you met each other because you're the short guys on the basketball team. You're selling candy out of your backpack there, and you go from there to Doug opening up his own little store, and then from there you guys are opening up these applications and going national. How do you guys get from selling candy out of your bag to opening up a produce store to, you know, getting to this level of now you got great living out in Texas, trying to start up this business? How do you guys get from that level of just, you know, a couple of kids in middle school and high school to, hey, let's open up business? How does that happen? Where does that come from?
You always wonder, how do people, like successful people, or how do people drive that type of car, have that type of house? How are they doing this? Because they can't, like, I mean, I feel like I didn't, on my end, I feel like I didn't have a lot of role models that I could look up to and see in those positions or ask ideas. So like it was always wondering, and like, you know, so and then also a need to help out around the house. A lot of people in my area was low income, so you know, you have and I was raised by a single mother, so you know, you see her working 2 jobs, trying to go to school on top of that, and then trying to take care of a whole household. And it's like, damn, you know, you see her break down sometimes and you're like, how can I help? You know what I mean? Like, what can I do to help the situation? So I end up like on top of like a little side job, like Doug talking about, but I started working when I was 13, 2 jobs at 13. I was a bus boy at the Best Steakhouse in East Lansing, and then I worked at a community center. But it was just like that nag to like want to do better and be better and be in a better position. Like suffering, that hurts, you know. You watching like everybody, like you watching from afar, people are just, they don't have to worry about trying to come up with money for field trips and all this other stuff, like, you know, or they have a lot of money to, you know, eat at school, and then like you're just stuck like watching, like, you know, hopefully, you know, you pack something. So first it was like seeing that like they're going without and wanting more, and then like, you know, then like finding somebody else that's like-minded like you, like I want to do these same things. Like, of course we play basketball, but it's like I want to like level up. That's the word. That's the, you know, what you want to say is I want to level up. So how can you level up? We got to be more. We got to learn. We got to figure it out, you know? So I think for us, like, it was just a lot of figuring it out on our own.
And just growth too, just wanted to grow, right, and wanted to learn more. You know, when I opened up the produce store, I quit my job. You know, I just put my 2 weeks in. You know, I started writing a business plan, and then, you know, quit my job and opened the store. And luckily, I had my wife who was working at the time, who kind of kept the bills paid, right? Because I put everything I had into the store, getting it, getting all the equipment, the refrigerators, you know, tables, cash registers, like just all the little things you don't even, you know, think that you need. getting all that type of stuff. And so like I put a lot into the store, but for me, I think it's growth, right? Just always, always had that hustler mindset, always wanted money, always wanted more money. But also, just growth, wanted to learn more, you know, learn business, wanted to go to the next level, and just taking into account everything I've learned, from hustling, selling candy, right, and selling clothes, and then opening the store, and what I learned from that, and transition it into, with Mowr today, on top of, just, growing within the corporate industry, within my current job, but just always wanted to learn, always wanted to grow, always wanted to just, see how things work. That was kind of my kind of growth path as far as, like you said, starting from selling candy to Mowr now.
Okay. And so, if I'm hearing you guys correctly, you didn't come from a place where there's a lot of money, right? You didn't have a dad, you didn't have a mom who'll give you a small loan of $1 million to start up your business. You guys had to put the money together yourself, right? Am I hearing that correctly?
Yeah.
Sometimes we had to give the parent. Well, I had to give the parent my check, but it worked out. It was.
Even now we're still funding, and to this day we're funding Mowr completely ourselves. We don't have investors. It's all like between the designing, the development, the marketing. It's all coming out of our pocket.
Were you able to get any grants for any sort of funding at all, or?
We got a small one through Leap. I don't know if you're familiar with Leap, but we got a small grant through them. I guess anything helps, obviously, but it wasn't to the point where it was gonna get us to that next level, unfortunately. But that's the only thing we've gotten so far. We did get accepted into Techstars about a month ago, but we ended up turning that down. Just because we felt like it wasn't right for us. But Techstars is actually one of the top accelerators in the country. If not, well, I don't know about the world, but in the country, I know that for sure. And they, out of so many, thousands of businesses that apply, companies, they only choose 12, and we were one of the 12 they chose. And then, like I said, we ended up turning it down because of the contract, the contracts that they put out there. But that just kind of validated, what we have is real, for us at least. And we always knew that, but kind of getting that stamp, like, getting accepted in the Techstars it put us on that next level. Like, okay, let's go hard. Let's really, push this, because we've gotten this far with just us. We got over, 5,000 users. And it's just, knowing that we got this far with just Gray and I, and all the money coming out of our pocket, we feel we can get to that next level, with Mowr, and that's kind of what we've been grinding out to do.
So my question to you guys now is, so you don't have the money, you don't have the finance really to outside of just paying out of pocket, working and paying out of pocket, right? So how do you guys go from, anybody else trying to start a business? It can't be easy, especially if you don't have the finance behind it, right? How do you go from just saying, you know what, forget all that, let's just do this. Let's get into this. Why don't you guys just find a job? Why don't you guys just go out and get paid, get a check like everybody else? What makes you want to start your own business, go through those trials, go through that hardship? Because it's not easy. What drives you guys to do that?
I would say it's levels. Depending on, we're fortunate where we can, where I could be down here and Doug can be up there. But I would say for those like a lot of, especially with investors, they want to see that you're all the way in, because that can make them hesitant. But don't move at your own pace. If you have to work a job, you don't have to quit the job, or find something that works around what you're doing. Because for the longest, this is what I've been doing, is working around Mowr. I still find ways to make money, but you still support the dream, but at the same time, let's be realistic. You want to go all in, but don't get put out on the streets because you're trying to fund that business. It's a time to pull that cord, the umbilical cord, to cut it, and you'll know when. But like just having the percentages, like 50-50 or 30-70, like just break it down like that and just make it make sense. Like you'll know what to do as far as like working and whatnot. But if this is your dream, at some point you are going to have to cut the cord and go all the way in, especially when it's time to scale and move on to the next level. You got to remove the security cushion, and just go all in. A lot of people do their best work when they burn all their bridges, because you can't turn around, you can't look back. So you have to figure out how to survive.
So great. Here's my thing then. You talk about being realistic. Okay, we're going back in history now, right? So you have this idea. Mom says it's a good idea. Girlfriend says it's a good idea. Doug says it's a good idea. But where do you go from there? You didn't have the connection. You didn't have the people. Right there, a lot of people would have said, well, there goes the dream. It was nice, but what do I do now? They would have gave up right there. Then you sit down.
Keep going.
Then you sit down with a designer, and the designer says, here's the idea. Here you go. Check it out. But now you got to get somebody to develop the design, right? You sit down with the developer, and the developer says, well, yeah, I can do this for you, but this is how much it's going to cost, right? So this is what really inspires me about you guys, is that there was a hurdle, and you guys overcame that hurdle using what you guys had in place. Gray out there, he's driving an Uber, he's asking people, how do I make these connections, right? And then you go to that point where, okay, let's put some money down, but it's not going to be that cheap. And you guys, from what it sounds like, you didn't have the money right there. Somebody would have gave up right there on the spot. Why did you guys not give up? Why did you guys keep going from there?
I think for us, we never gave up on anything. Like, we're very persistent, we're very tenacious, and when we put our mind to something, we're 100% like gonna make it happen. We didn't have anybody to model, so we wanted to be pioneers, at least from what we our knowledge of who did what. We wanted to be pioneers. We want other people to see that it can be done. You can come from these circumstances and do this. We both have children, and they got this. They're there with us every step of the way. They're seeing that it's getting done, and it's how far we're getting, as well. So it's like you have a lot of eyes on you. On top of that, it's ourselves, like keeping our
Yeah, it's just that drive.
Yeah, keeping ourselves in line. Like, hey, you got to do this. You got to, And we learned a lot of stuff the average person wouldn't know unless you did the same thing that we've done. So, you guys have to, don't give up. Just just ask questions, because the worst thing that can happen is somebody saying no. And then you just go to somebody else or go to another place. Like, I'm in a whole new area now, and like the opportunity is endless. And, it's really like surreal to be actually out here. Like, I cut out, like I'm away from the nest. I think about that every time, or every day. Like, there's no going back. We've been through some crazy things while we've been here that would make anybody go back. But we're still here, and we're still pushing. And like Doug said, we're really close to being there. We got that validation. We have investors. We had NFL players hit us up wanting to know about Mowr, and it's like, man, we know we're there, but we got like a little bit more to go, and then we're just gonna bust down that wall, and we're gonna be there.
Yeah, and it's just that drive too. Like, I mean, I feel like that's just us. That's just our nature. Like, we want to keep going, and we're not gonna give up. Like, I mean, both of us. I had my daughter at 17. And fresh out of high school, and Gray had his son a year later, right? And so those are the stories that people don't know. Like, on top of everything, we got families. We got I had a son that was born in January, and he was born at 23 weeks. And, he went through 8 different surgeries and lost, some of his small intestine. And even now he's on a feeding tube and a central line. Right. And so through all that, I'm still pushing through, with Mowr, right, on top of working, and the stuff that, some personal stuff Gray went through down in Texas with some stuff. Right. And that's just us. Like, we're just not going to give up. We're going to keep going. And, and I don't know if you guys are hip hop fans, but, I see this all the time where Nipsey Hussle, he said that he's, the difference between him and other people is he just didn't give up. He just kept pushing, he kept grinding. And that's what we're doing. Like, we've been through so much. Like, this year, like, if you guys really knew, like, everything we've been through this past year between Gray and I at a personal level, is like, we talk all the time, like, man, I don't know how we're still pushing through everything we've been through. But that's just us, man. We're not going to give up. We're going to keep going.
The marathon continues.
Yeah, it is. It's just, it's hard to answer that question, because I feel like that's just us. That's just, that's just who we are. We're just gonna keep pushing this thing, and you know, until we're forced to give up.
Okay, great. So you went down to Dallas, Texas. There's a massive Spanish-speaking community out there. Is there anything that you guys are doing to target that
Yeah.
community in any way?
On top of that, look, I told me and my family, we are actually, well, especially my kids, because it's free for them. Well, I guess it's free for me, but one, I said it's necessary that we learn Spanish. Like, there's no reason why we're gonna be here and not know. Like, nobody should have to adapt to us. You know, I was just in the store talking to a lady that spoke Spanish yesterday, and she had to point me to the manager because she was bilingual. So I said, you know, I felt bad because I was like, it's my responsibility to know that, especially with me being in business. But it's today's world. I have to learn how to speak Spanish. Why am I not, you know, why haven't I already did this, you know? But yeah, it's definitely a need for me to be able to communicate and resonate with individuals who speak Spanish, because that's down here. If anybody been to, I mean, Texas in general, but down in Dallas, it's a big Spanish speaking population, and people come from different walks. I mean, you not only Mexico, but Guatemala, Peru, Venezuela, you know, stuff like that. So you know, we're working on ways, like even in the app, we're gonna make it where you can toggle between English and Spanish, because we learned that here. We're gonna need it. Like a lot of the people, especially in the lawn care industry, you know, it's needed. Even when they're texting between user and the partner, it's gonna need a translation. Like, it's needed. This is 2023. Like, let's not only think that people only speak English. Let's not do that. You know, we have to adapt. If you don't adapt, then you know, bye bye to your business. You know, it only can last so long.
And I'm going to say, this is what I find really inspirational about you guys. And one of the reasons why I love doing this podcast is I get to meet guys like you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you come up and you have this great idea, you have this dream, and that's where it all starts. Any kind of business, any kind of venture like that, it starts with a dream. You have this dream and you keep chasing it. And you know, an obstacle comes up, you keep chasing it. Another hurdle, you keep chasing it. You keep going after it. You know, and I love that story. I wish that the best for you guys. And I know that if you guys keep that up, you know, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, everybody's going to be talking about Mowr, you know, and you guys are going to be up there, and me and Jesus are going to be sitting here one day saying, man, remember 5 years ago we interviewed those guys when they were just started. So, you know, I find that really inspirational about you guys is that every hurdle, every obstacle you come up to, you guys find a way to overcome it. You guys find a way to beat it. And you know, that's a big story for those who are listening. You know, a lot of people say, well, I don't have the connections. You know, so-and-so was able to do it because he had connections. I don't have those connections. That's why I'm not where he's at. You know, he had the money. That's why he's there and I'm over here. He had this and I didn't have that. That's why he can do it and I can't. But you guys, I mean, you didn't have the connections. You didn't have the finance. You guys only had the dream and the motivation. And so I hope those who are listening today are able to hear that and find a way. That's all it is. That's what it's about. Just find a way.
Hustle. You gotta figure it out. Nothing comes free, man. It's no matter what, you just got to figure it out. And, you know, and sometimes you can't be scared to you know, jump in and get your hands dirty. You know, like both Gray and I, when we started our businesses, we were Ubering together out in East Lansing, like talking on the phone every night till 3 a.m, you know, driving people around, you know, just to keep our businesses and our lights on for our businesses. You know, so that it's not only, you know, that from what we did back in our old, you know, with our previous businesses, that translates into what we're doing now with Mowr, right? We're going to keep pushing and keep grinding it out until we get to where we need to be.
And then Douglas, I'm just curious, what do you still have the store, the produce store?
No. So we closed down right when COVID hit. Right when COVID hit, it really impacted us, and we lost one of our big vendors. There's a local produce store, but we would make fruit cups and veggie cups and parfaits for a local food chain store, Quality Dairy here, and we're in 36 of their stores. And then we lost that big account, and that really, you know, that we took a hit with that. And then when COVID hit, it was just too much to, you know, to keep it going, unfortunately. You know, and you know, sometimes it doesn't work out, right? Like, you can keep grinding, keep pushing until, like I said, until you're forced to quit. And at that point, when COVID hit, we kind of were forced to close down, unfortunately. But you live and you learn, right? I wouldn't trade that journey for, it was, a good 5-6 years, and I wouldn't trade that for anything. Like, I learned so much about business. I learned so much about myself. I was driving to Detroit at, 2-3 in the morning to get produce, and then, coming back to my store and running that, and then Ubering, right? And then, driving back out to Detroit again is, I've learned so much. I met so many great people. Like, I met some people through Leap, and that's how we were able to get that small grant we did for some marketing. But you just meet all kinds of people. I was traveling out to farms, picking up produce from local farmers and just talking to them. And to this day, I go out there and they give me some free pies. And so it's just I don't know. That's just the part I enjoy about entrepreneurship. Is just the people you meet, the people you get to talk to, the things you experience. Just at the produce terminal at 3 a.m. talking to these produce guys. And it's like, I was getting produce where, Kroger and Meijer were getting produce. I was getting my produce from the same people, so you just little things like that you don't realize. And so, yeah, it's just a journey, man. And I wouldn't trade that for anything. I learned so much.
So from my understanding, when you guys started, you guys had to do a lot of those initial jobs for Mowr at first. What knowledge did you gain from doing that?
It's so funny when you said that. I just pictured our first mower job was me and my son, and we wrote mower on these reflective safety vests, and we went out to the first job, and it was crazy because the guy who requested it was a guy I drove the night before in Uber, and I was telling him about the app, and he requested it. I was like, oh shoot! And I was like, what do we do now? So we ended up like picking up the job, and then going out and servicing it. And it was a bit overwhelming because I don't really do I didn't do lawn care like heavily. So I was like, oh shoot, okay. Am I doing right? Is the line straight? All that. But it was very interesting. But then we got instances of we could have gave up again. We didn't have enough partners at one point. And there was a guy I met, so I don't know where, he was just walking down the street. We got a gas canister on his lawnmower, just pushing it down. And I was like, hey, you want to make some money? And he was like, yeah, what do you got for me? And I'm like, look, I would take you to all these jobs, because it was like something, maybe Lansing State Journal published an article on us. And I was like, look, I would take you to each and every one of these jobs. I need you to sign up here, and I would take you. I promise you, I'll take you right now. I got like 10 jobs ready to go. So I signed him up and took him to every job. I threw my trunk was open, grass everywhere. At the end of the day, you got to do what you got to do, in order to get stuff launched. And I think for a lot of you, a lot of people out there, don't be afraid to get your hands dirty. You have to, sometimes you got to do the job yourself. You can't always outsource, or maybe your connection might slow down and you can't get those resources. So you got to go somewhere else and do it. But just don't give up. If you want it easy, business isn't for you, because it takes a lot of work, a lot of hurt, a lot of good times, bad times, all that stuff. But you got to be willing to go through the fire.
Do you guys do any type of I don't know if the lawn care is the right word for this, but any type of that kind of work for winter? You guys do the shoveling, the snow plow, and all that too?
Yeah, we do snow. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So in the app we have that snow option as well. Yeah. We actually just released Mowr 2.0, which is the second version of Mowr. It was May of last year. We implement that, and that goes into the business part of it, is adapting to your customers, right? We realized that all we had was one mow option, and with the new version we have tiers now. So we have Quick Mow, Mowr Plus, and Mowr Pro. And so people can, they can do so there's some individuals who they just want, they're going to get fined. They need you to come out there, cut the grass. They don't care what it looks like. They just need you to cut the grass. And so we found that. And then on top of that, we found people that wanted, more of a landscaping type job done, right? Where they wanted nice, clean lines and they wanted edging and stuff. So, we kind of, listened to what the customers were saying, and we tailored it, to fit that. So now we got those three options in there, and all three of them get used, right? So we found that beneficial. So that just goes to, listening to your customers. And, Gray says all the time, send surveys out, hear what they have to say, and don't be stubborn to, don't be stubborn to it. Don't be so set in your own ways of your business that you're not listening to what your customers want. Because that's not good. Not to say you'll fail, but you definitely won't be able to grow if you're not listening to what your customers want.
Well, I think this is a genius idea. I'll speak for myself as a homeowner. Every year I have this situation where I can't find a guy to mow my lawn. I live on a corner. I've got a lot of grass to cut. I can't do it. I don't want to do it. So every year I struggle finding somebody who's able to do it. And I'm very happy to hear about this application. You guys have definitely found another customer. So look for me this summer on your app.
Or the winner.
Or the winner.
Yeah, or the winner. Yeah.
I really do appreciate your time.
Yeah, Grand Rapids is a
What's
market.
What's next for Mowr?
Well, I want to plug in a piece. First, before I do, make sure you guys check out Mowr Rentr too while you're at it. Put some equipment in there. You never know, it might get rented out. I know you guys got something at home that you can rent out. But my next piece is also me, Doug and I. We have this. We're giving back to the community, and what we're doing is we're working with 2 nonprofits every month here in Dallas and in Lansing to start off with. So every month, what we do is in our app we do advertisement, and we have these banners. So one, we list their banner within the app, so you'll see those 2 nonprofits in the app on a monthly basis. You can click their link, click the banner. You can go right to their either their Facebook or their website, whatever one they choose. But you can learn more about
Do More, right?
Yep, it's the Do More Foundation. Yep. So it's just our way of giving back. Like I said, we're not like super, like rich or anything like that. But at least, if anything, we could bring attention to those causes that can like help out immediately in those areas. So you can go on the website, you can figure out how to help or donate or just learn more about what's happening in your community. And like, I love it because it's a good play on Mowr, but also it's a good cause too. So just go out there, check those out as well, and support any way you guys, listeners, any way you guys want, because they're always taking volunteers, they're always taking ideas, and on top of that, donations as well. So definitely check that out in the app.
So if I'm looking to get somebody to take care of my lawn, I go to Mowr. That's MOWR app. If I cut lawn, if that's my job and I'm looking for more customers, I go to Mowr Partnership. Is that correct?
So,
all right. And if I'm looking to rent some lawn care equipment, I go to Mowr Rentr. And if I got equipment to rent out, where do I go for that?
so that's on the host. So it's the same app. You just got to set up a host profile.
Yep.
Okay. So that's a Mowr Partnership or Mowr Rentr?
It's inside Mowr Rentr.
Renter.
Okay. All right. So you guys are covering all the bases here. I love it, man.
Yeah,
I love
and
it.
that's not
So-
just lawn equipment either. You can put, like I said, you can put an air compressor, some power tools. You can put anything in there. That's just party equipment.
So if you like
Podcast equipment, yeah.
or if you guys are out, you can rent those out and then get it back and earn a little bit of money too. So definitely check it out.
Yeah.
So back to Will's question, where do you guys see yourselves in the next 10 years as far as Mowr Technologies?
I feel like we talk about this constantly, and I asked Doug, I was like, is there going to be an exit strategy for you at some point? Because I can't read his mind and he can't read mine, so I want to know before somebody else knows, like what is your plan, and he needs to know what my plan is. And it's kind of tough because seldom do you see a lot of minorities in leading big companies. And as soon as you sell out, what does the community say? You sold out, right? and it's tough, but at the same time, you have your own family, you have your own life that you need to live, and those 10 years that you were in that company, you did lead and you did you do all this stuff. So a lot of short-term memory loss with a lot of people, but it's kind of tough. Like I feel like Mowr is going to be successful no matter if it's still us at the helm or if we hire a CEO and go public and just become like minority shareholders or something. It's a lot of routes that we could go. But hopefully, we can spend our time traveling the world at that point, because we've been working a long time. Like I said, since 13, that's all we know is work. But sometimes we gotta have fun too, right?
Yeah, Gray makes fun of me because he said I'm gonna live in Utah in the woods. That's my ultimate goal. Live in, get some land.
Wi-Fi. Don't know what year it is, but he's content. He's hunting fish with his bare teeth.
I like nature, man. I like nature. I like hiking. I love it out there, and it's like that's my ultimate goal is to move out there, get a nice house, some land, and make sure my family's straight. And it obviously, for Mowr, I want to take Mowr to as far as we can take it. That's our ultimate goal. But at the end of the day, for me at least, I want to retire early. I feel like I've been working hard for so long, and I've sacrificed so much that I want to be able to enjoy some of my youth while I have it. And when you get up, and obviously we're not there yet, but you see some of these big companies and these CEOs and whatnot, and it just seems stressful up at the top when you're like Facebook and running the world, right?
20 kids,
Yeah, it's so that's kind of my thought. Make 10 years, that's a long time. But yeah, I kind of see myself hopefully somewhat semi-retired by then, collecting some investment money. But as far as Mowr, we're going to take it as far as it can go, and we know it can go far. Just the amount of traction we've been able to get and the amount of attention we've been able to get, we know we got something good. Because otherwise, people want to interview us if they didn't think we had something good and a good idea. But yeah, we're definitely going to take Mowr to as far as we can take it.
Well, I think it's a genius idea, guys. I'm a busy man. I work. I'm very involved with my church. I've got a beautiful wife that I'm very much involved with and doing a lot of stuff out there. And I don't have time to get on the phone, look for somebody to mow my lawn, going out there. They should be looking for me. I shouldn't be looking for them. So I think this is a genius idea. I just get on an application, let them know, hey, I'm available, and they come to me. So I love the idea. I think you guys have something here. I think it can go far. And I think the biggest thing is don't give up, man. And so, if you guys get anything out of this podcast, is that you guys are inspirational. You guys are I think that you would inspire anybody else who's trying to start their own company and letting them know, you don't have to have anything in order to start something outside of, that motivation and that hustle. And so you guys definitely have that. And again, we really do appreciate your time. We really appreciate your story. And hopefully, maybe a couple of years from now, we'll get you guys back on the podcast and you guys can talk about how you're spending that money to travel the world.
Well, you guys, get ready for the yacht, guys.
All right, man. Well, once again, guys, thank you very much. We're here with the founders of Mowr. We've got
Doug and Gray.
Doug and Gray. And again, we appreciate your time, guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having
Appreciate it. Thanks for having us. Definitely appreciate it.
Forge in the future, guys. This is another episode, and we hope that you guys enjoyed it. Episode 8. Look at us, man. We're moving up too. All right.
Congratulations.
There you go.
Oh.
Yeah, congrats.
Thank you
Yeah,
very
it's
much,
nice.
guys. Well, you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you very much for listening.
All right, guys.